straight-in questions for Coach. We'll start with Benjamin.
Coach, I know you talked about a lot of these teams you faced in the SEC about how they like to play fast, and Vanderbilt's certainly no exception. I know they like to turn defense into offense, so what stands out about them on the film you've watched?
Yes, just like you said, I mean, they lead the conference in steals at 12 a game because they're able to turn you over. They've got some electric guards that are able to score in the open court, and you've got a freshman that you are playing who I believe put up 51 points against Florida. Which is unheard of, especially in this league when you're talking about so many fifth-year kids. All right, this league's really dominated with seniors and fifth years, so for a freshman to put up numbers with some of the top fifth years, it's pretty impressive. So we've got our work cut out. They're deep. Their bench is also very solid, so you got to make sure you bring it for 4 quarters.
You've talked a little bit about improving some of the inconsistencies, being able to play strong all 4 quarters. I guess just what's being done right now as you're preparing to kind of solve that issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny, and I should say funny is not the right word, but it's to that point. Obviously, I said that about the Alabama, but then if you look at the game before against Arkansas, I think we were up 10-0. We make them call a timeout. So it's not been consistent behavior. The Alabama game was a game for me where we didn't make shots that I was referencing. Similar games that have happened this year is we've got to be a team that when we don't make buckets, that we stay in the game with our defensive effort. And then some other games that we've lost is because we've gotten huge leads, but we've turned over the ball. So we've got one or the other. So just, again, it's the spirit of practices. This is a time everybody in the country is going through things. I referenced to our team, Tennessee. I think we're tied in wins in conference right now. I think we have 4 and they have 4. They just played an out-of-conference game against UConn, who's number 5 in the country, and they won that game. Again, it's just to put perspective, our league's a beast, right? You got to bring it night in and night out. And if you don't win, you can't let it carry over into the next game because these style of plays are so different that we've got to be able to adapt and find a way to win.
You've tweaked the lineup a couple of times, but at this point of the season, does lineup really matter as much as matchups as the game develops, or kind of a feel for how you want to start games or play them?
That's $1 million question, right? Well, first of all, lineups are determined who I think gives me the best chance to win the game. So for me, it's more about having the right lineup to Sam's question and getting off to a great start despite the matchups of who we're playing. And then, again, what's best for our team is this person better coming off. I keep on saying Chandler. Chandler's the glue for my team this year. She reminds me of a kid I coached at Louisville who we went with Final Fours, and Mikasa Robinson, who would play 2 through 4. Sometimes she started. Sometimes she came off the bench. She was just the ultimate team player that year is because of what that team needed. So that's kind of more of the energy that we're about right now.
Coach, you praised your team's attitude this whole year. I guess you had a tough loss on Sunday. I guess how's the mood of the team been this week, and how's practice been going?
Yeah. Obviously, they're competitors, so they're disappointed, right? Especially in a game where I talked about with Think Pink, man, what a beautiful game that was, and what that game standing for. So obviously, we were disappointed, especially with the starting lineup, to come out with those breast cancer survivors and kind of lay an egg there in that first quarter. But again, just like who they are and fighting for their lives, I was proud of the second half for us to win the third and fourth quarter. So they know what's up. We have hard conversations. We talk about the truth. We talk about where we're at in the season, and most importantly, what we're trying to get to in March. All right, and making that tournament. But we got to have a one game at a time mentality.
Carlo. Sorry.
Come on, Will. Coach, 2 straight road games coming up this week. Talk about the mindset going into those, and of course, as we talk about the SEC, what kind of adjustment or game plan you need going into those 2 games.
Yeah, it's going to be a beast. First of all, I think we play at 8 o'clock here on Thursday, and then we'll get back home midnight. All right, and then you have not much turnaround. The kids are going to be sore and tired Friday, so it's going to be really light. And then we got to fly to Florida, which we'll lose an hour, and then play early Sunday. But I try to give them again perspective. Like I just watched my old school Louisville play Stanford, and thinking that they played, I think, Notre Dame and Louisville, and then they're on a red eye to go back 4 hours to the West Coast and then attend school. So again, as hard as that sounds, we have a lot easier than some other student athletes around the country. So let's don't look at it in a wrong lens, but an opportunity, right? And let's get well rested, and again, just make sure we have great effort when the ball's tipped in both of those games.
What have you seen from Anaya, just in terms of how she's been reacting to coming off the bench these last few games? I know she's given you some nice energy at times there. You know, how she handled it with Chandler and everyone else there.
Handle it with Chandler. I don't look at it so much handle it with Chandler, just handle it for the team, right? Naya's an unbelievable player. Whether she's in the starting lineup or coming off the bench, the kid can flat out make plays and score. She can dish the ball as good as anybody in the country. She had a great practice yesterday, which that's what, her mind is, and she wants to finish this out right. So she's, again, just the ultimate person and an electric player that we need her to play well. All right, when she plays well, obviously our team plays well. So that's where she's focused on, is just giving great effort both on the offensive and defensive end, and when she does that, we have a chance to win.
Coach Medina seems to get better on the offense and defensive end every single game. I guess just talk about how much progression she has made this year.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, she had a play there in that corner against Alabama where she saves the ball. They're trapping and denying everybody. And, again, who does some of the stuff that she does at her length? She pass fakes out. The kid bites. She rips and drives from the corner and makes a reverse layup, and you're just like, holy smokes. So, again, just every day she's slowing down, because obviously if you look at her statistics, one thing she's trying to improve her assist-to-turnover ratio, but her field goal percentage is as good as anybody in the country. So she's a sponge. She's taking this all in, and she's just excited to see what's come because this is her first ride. She hasn't experienced March Madness and the tournament and having to say goodbye to seniors. So every day has just been really cool to see her lens, whether it's a gratitude, again, because this is a young lady not from this country. So she's just soaking this all in and having the time of her life.
More questions for Coach? All right,
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Sorry, Bryce.
It's all good.